Well, hello there, and thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Church Plant Journey blog. We are so excited that you're tuning in, whether you're someone who's just cheering us along, following our journey, or if you're someone who's on a church plant journey of your own. We hope that this content will be helpful to inspire you, encourage you, or help you take the next steps in your journey. Part of our residency program is doing a lot of reading, and while Michael is deep in his studies of theological things, leadership things, church planting like theories and practice, I kind of get into the books that are more about like the human element of things. If you know me, you know I really love people. It's something I'm super passionate about, and obviously in our church, my role and my fit has always kind of been like helping people connect or helping people take their next steps. But a big part of that's like just understanding people and understanding our world and our culture. And so I decided to read two books. And I'm going to talk to you about both of them, and they're each on a different, really big, like hot topic right now. One is racial reconciliation, and the other is just politics in general. Both books have been hugely helpful for me to wrap my head around how, as a follower of Jesus, I can engage in the conversation around these two topics. So one that I really, really loved is called Be the Bridge. Be the Bridge is actually an organization that's sole purpose is to help people have racial reconciliation in their communities, really within even just their homes, and then in the world in general. But when I hear the words reconciliation thrown around, I've often been like, yeah, that sounds really good, but what do I do? What's my part in that? How do I get involved? And this book does a really great job breaking down what racial reconciliation really means and what it requires of me. Throughout the book, you'll learn about just like a 9-step process that helps you get from the first step, which is awareness, all the way to the end step, which is reproducing your your heart and your passion to see racial reconciliation throughout your community and your church. So again, 9-step process. Each chapter has like questions at the end that help you unpack kind of where you're at along the way in that process. But the huge takeaways for me, one was that I have a role to play in racial reconciliation. It's not something for like the church leaders or something for the government or for my world around me to figure out. It's something for me, and I have a role to play in that. And the other big takeaway for me is that you can't just stop at awareness. I know it's been easy like throughout the past several months to see an issue and just share it on my Instagram or share it on Facebook or talk about it. But just raising awareness over something isn't enough. There's a role for me to play. There's steps for me to take. And though that's always felt really overwhelming, this book unpacked that to help me really understand the role of like lamenting in walking through racial reconciliation. What does it mean to have like guilt and shame? How can I practice confession and forgiveness for the ways that I've experienced racism in my life? And ultimately, I really recommend this to you. Even if you're not a reader, maybe look up Be the Bridge. It's a powerful organization. They are doing so much around the world to help people to understand God's heart and what He has and what He's envisioned for us as people. So again, check it out, Be the Bridge. The other book is called Thou Shalt Not Be a Jerk. Both of these books I found out about through the If Gathering, which I'm a huge fan of. So if you are not following If Gathering, make sure you find them on social media or go to the next If Gathering event if you can. Maybe find a group in your community who's doing If tables or something. But both of these books I found out about through them because they are really passionate about contemporary issues like this too, and putting resources into our hands. Anyway, so Eugene Cho, Thou Shalt Not Be a Jerk. This is a Christian's guide to engaging in politics. So if you're anything like me, you may think that like being a Christian, following Jesus, and being involved in politics, like they don't mix, like you shouldn't do it. I have often felt overwhelmed, like as a Christian, how do I have a voice? How do I advocate for people, with the party system and the politicians, and it just has overwhelmed me a lot. And so I've oftentimes just decided to disengage, but I don't think that's really God's heart, especially when you look at what He has to say in Matthew 22, that we're called to love people. And what happens with politics is they inform policies, and those policies impact people. So it's important as God's mouthpiece in the world around us and as His hands and feet that we actually do speak up for people and for things that concern Him. So My big takeaways for this book is, first off, it empowered me to realize that I can be a follower of Jesus and also be a voice in politics. I don't have to choose one or the other. And the second thing, it was a powerful reminder to realize that my hope isn't in a politician, it's not in a party, it's not in policies, but my hope ultimately is in Jesus Christ, and the fact that I have a hope and a future in Him alone. So it's just helped me have the freedom to know I don't have to align myself with a single party, a single politician, or a single policy to be able to be a follower of Jesus in today's political climate. So again, read this. Super great book. You could find Eugene Cho on Instagram. I followed his page. Every so often you can see something really kind of like inspiring or a good, powerful reminder come through there as well. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys will pick up these books or at least follow these authors, and maybe you can be impacted just as much as I have been. But thanks again for tuning in. Michael and I are so excited to see what God has for us, what He has for you, and what He has for Long Island. Thanks again. Bye.